was they said Munai or something. That's that I can't is it continue something for whatever. But there were indications that I was going to rain, so I thought, oh, maybe you might not make it. But it's here. FIFI MPAREY is NDC UK Ireland chapter deputy communications officer.
That's correct.
He's joining us in studio. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Sana, and good to see you.
Good to see you too. And it's clad in green.
Yes, I am. You know, one of my favorite colors is olive green.
Olive green.
Yeah, I love olive green. Yeah, that kind of military green. Whether in cars, the Range Rover call it the anniversary colors.
Okay.
Because that is the original Range Rover colors.
Okay.
Yeah,
the olive green.
Yeah, so when you buy a Range Rover or you see in a Range Rover in that very color, is very expensive. They don't do a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was the original color in which Range Rover.
That's correct. If you look at Land Rover, you will see that olive green color sitting within that Land Rover. Okay. Every badge of Land Rover, and that is their color. I grew to like that color for some reason. It's not because of I even got to realize that is Land Rover's anniversary color.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they're celebrating their anniversary, maybe they will produce 10 of their vehicles in such colors.
Okay.
So if something happens to it, they know we only sold 10 in the world. Okay. And we know where they are.
I see. Nice to have you. Nice to have you in studio.
Great to have you too, and great to see you. Talking about rain, where I come from, rain doesn't stop anything. Snow doesn't stop anything. So I saw the clouds, very gloomy. I still have to just plow the road and come through.
No, in Ghana, we don't fear car. We don't fear anything. Rain. Rain will stop everything. When it starts raining, everything must come to everybody house out. Okay. Yeah. So once, if you've not gotten to the destination, you have to wait for the rains to finish before you. Wow. Because you know what might happen. Yes, you know what might possibly happen. But in the meantime, I guess, have we had a conversation since this government started actively?
We haven't.
We haven't?
We haven't, yeah. Okay. I think the last time I was here was during the...
transition?
No.
I think it was the swearing in.
Swearing in.
Okay.
And then, we were in the studio for quite a long time. And
yes.
Different commentary.
Yes.
And then after I flew out of the country, I haven't been back till...
You haven't been back till now?
This time it's just passing through as well quickly.
So far, you are in green. Are you happy with your Green Party's performance thus far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. You're not going to get 100%. There's always room for improvement. But there's so much that has been achieved within the limited time in terms of, if you look at performance indicators and looking at things that they set to try and achieve within the limited time. A lot of these has been done, and I'm pretty happy.
Is there something that you think the party can do better at?
Oh yeah, obviously. There's as I said, there's always room for improvement.
Okay.
We human beings, and it doesn't matter what we achieve. If we determine and we put certain measures in, we can always do that extra mile. So, but the good thing is, look, wherever we've done and where we are, we're going to leverage on it and see more improvement. And so definitely.
And I'm sure you've been listening to this whole conversation on Galamsey.
Yes, I've heard a few.
You come from the
Eastern region yourself.
So I know that not every part of the Eastern region has that menace.
That's correct.
Actually, but for the areas perhaps that you know, maybe on your way to Koforidua, you see all those. Have you seen some improvements? Do you think the criticism that civil society is already leveling against your government? In fact, this morning I saw Oliver Bakar even post that it's like as if you're calling for a demonstration on the matter of Galamsey because they are not impressed. They feel by now you should declare a state of emergency and start the fight urgently, actively, that they are not seeing that. Do you agree that perhaps the government has not taken on Galamsey the way everybody expects?
I think coming to power, if you go back to our manifesto and all the promises that the NDC government, led by His Excellency, the President, John Dramani Mahama, the conversation that we had is not to stop mining completely.
Okay.
Because, as we are all aware, majority of our GDP is based on the gold that is being exported from this country abroad.
Okay.
So we need the gold, whether it's a large-scale commercial mining or what it was termed as community mining.
Okay.
Is very, very important. What actually happened, as we are all aware, when the NPP government took over, they issued unprecedented mining licenses to their colleagues, and a lot of their own company to go and degrade our land in water bodies and forest reserves and what have you. And this has caused an issue. All of us sat on that bandwagon or sat on the rooftop and shouted about it. But as a government coming into power, come on, we literally 4 months in power.
Okay.
Literally. It's impossible to stop a behavior that has gone on for 8 years. That people have excavators and what have you, and this behavior has been orchestrated and done and overseen by a government. It's not that easy. You can't use 4 months to fight something that has happened for 8 years. It's like being ill. The illness could come like that. When you are being cured, it takes time. And that is exactly what is happening.
But civil society groups also say, yes, you are 4 months old. We are not saying solve the problem, but we are saying that we are not impressed with the signs we're seeing. That, yes, 4 months, but start the fight in a manner that convinces everybody that you actually mean it and you really want to win it.
You're absolutely right, and they're absolutely right as well on their statement. But the truth of the matter is, you can't just get up. What they want to see maybe radical action.
Yes.
With guns and what have you.
Yes. Military deployment
and what have you. The government have a way of dealing with this. He did say, look, we're going to get these miners off. We're going to revoke licenses step by step. We're going to retrain many of these miners, or possibly all of these miners, who have legitimately acquired licenses to do what is called responsible mining. There's nothing wrong with that. So for us to do that, we need to make sure the structures are right. You cannot just get up within 4 months. In Akan language, there is a saying, in other words, when fire ants are eating you up, you cannot stand the very spot that those fire ants are eating you up and then begin to shake your clothes and what. No, you'll be eaten up. So we have to actually take a different approach by ensuring our water bodies are no-go areas, no matter what. Our forest reserves are no-go areas, no matter what. When we see the devastation in the water bodies, all of us, our heart bleeds. It doesn't matter which government is in power. Something has to be done. But these are criminals. These are cartel. These are people who have ammunitions to even withstand the forestry department and the police and the army to fight them. So it's a war. How do we approach it? Do we have to go toe-to-toe with them by shooting and killing and what have you? Maybe if whatever plans that we have, as promised before winning the election, is not working, then possibly the government will look at a different option. But possibly going toe-to-toe, if it has to be declared as war, then so be it. But presently, I think we need to follow the promises and the procedures that we think we could use to try and get a lot of these people to do responsible mining, get them off the water bodies, get them off the forest reserves.
So you think what is contained in the manifesto, if implemented to the latter, that will help?
I believe so. There's another thing that maybe we might have to, at the moment, many small-scale licenses have been, or possibly has been revoked.
Yeah.
So anybody that you see in the prospecting licenses to a lot of this community and what have you has been revoked. If you see anybody in there, they acting illegal.
Okay.
At the moment, that's what it is. It's not like the previous government who is still issuing it and at the same time saying, I'm fighting it. We have revoked all licenses. So if you see anybody in these places, they are acting illegal.
I see. Well, is there anything in particular that this government has done over this period that impressed you the most? Is there anything they fulfilled? Because there's been betting tax is gone, there's e-levy is gone, and essentially the government promised to organize an education forum. They've done that. They've submitted a report. They have a report on what has happened within the security services. There are many things that this government has done. Most of them have gone under there. But is there anything particular that attracted your attention?
I won't pinpoint or put my finger on a particular thing, but these are some of the things that you've mentioned. Because we're still very young, it takes a long time for you to get your feet in government. 4 months, very, very young. Looking at even the things that we've achieved and how we are dealing with some of these organized crime, chasing up things that or assets that were stolen from this country and what have you within this 4 months, and looking at the result. Yes, people will argue that, nobody has been prosecuted yet. Yeah, we all know how our court system works, and it takes a long time to be able to prosecute someone. So, but at the moment, the right steps are being taken. I'm pretty impressed. I'm super impressed with so far what the government has done. You spoke about the education forum, economic forum. We've had this. We've started the conversation on looking at our entire constitution. So everything, you could see that all the important things that were mentioned are being done. The e-levy is gone. The betting tax is gone, which even though I've always said I'm an NDC, I wasn't against the betting tax, because taxes sometimes it's not just inflicting taxation on individuals to make money, but it's also to curb behavior. And we shouldn't allow our young ones to just gambling their money on some of the taxes. So to me, that's my opinion. That's not the government, though. That's my opinion. That should have been left untouched so that it can curb a behavior. But they were determined. It doesn't matter what taxes was on it. They were still going and doing their bet. Yeah. So for government to take it off, thinking that, look, maybe in future, when some of these unemployment issues are resolved, we might be able to find a way of reducing and curbing that behavior. And maybe when people are busy, who's going to have and making money, who's going to have time to even go and bet? You
have no idea.
With the volume.
I'm telling you, there are people who are doing well, but they still bet.
I won't be surprised, because it's addiction as well. Betting is addiction, and it's a serious addiction. Even in the West than in Africa.
Okay.
In the West, yes.
So what we're seeing here, there's West. West in Africa. West in the West.
In the West, yes. It's a worse behavior when you go to the West. That is why you have all the betting companies, the big betting companies, making loads of money. From there, they bet on horses, racing, football, everything. And every single minute, you will have something to bet on. It's live. It's on there. So it's a bad behavior that the government there have found, or they are finding solutions to it and way to resolve it. There are millionaires who have bet their life all their time, and then they end up losing all their millions. That is how bad it is. It's same like alcohol or drugs. People get addicted to it and they can't come out. And I think that is one thing we might have to look at over here as well. We shouldn't leave it for it to get out of hand. Anyway, that is just by the way. So these are some of the conversations or the things that we've done, and the government having conversation on these things. So within looking at a child who is a 4 months old, and if that child has started walking, even though it's on certain steps, come on, you know that child is definitely going to run the tracks, and that is exactly what we will do. Give us a year and a half, and then we'll be flying. We'll be
Actually,
flying.
well, there are, I think, and this is interesting. This has gone under the radar, but there are supposed to be 4 deputy ministerial positions left to be filled. Are you interested?
You put me on the spot. I'm not certain. I'm not certain. It's always great to serve your country. It's always amazing when you're sitting there and then you get a call from the president or the people in charge, or you see the green letter with your name on. Whether it's yes or no, I think it's honorable thing. And then you will say, look, thank you. I think I'm not ready. Or you will say, thank you, I'm ready.